Hey everybody, Slippery Slope here. This is the ninth Java tutorial. This one is on allowing users to enter their own input and then having it print out on console. Now, I could go over this in 12 or 15 minutes and really just take my time to discuss every little detail. But, who has that amount of time of the day other than me because I'm terribly lonely. But, yeah, so let's hurry up and let's do this. Now, you look at this and you see that I have my class header, my method header, and my squiggly brackets. But before you start entering stuff within the method here, in the method body, you want to import the scanner class. And what that does is, in order for users to input their own data, you absolutely need to tell Java, look at this part of the library, retrieve this class, we need it. And there you go, in a nutshell. That's what that means. You absolutely need to have it in order to make this sort of program in which the user inputs data. Now, this one, we're going to allow users to tell us how old they are, how much money they make in a year, and say how old they are, because what program doesn't want to get that information? We need to sell their info. Just kidding, we're not doing that sort of thing. And yeah, let's start naming our variables, because like without these certain cool reference points and stuff, we can't like store the info. There's a string variable because we're going to enter their name, and in that sort of format, they're not going to, tell us what's your name, 5. Let's allow their age to be a double, how old they are, because that'd be funny. And to play, it's like that Zelda quote, let's play money-making game. Well, we're not going to play the game, but we're going to allow them to say how much they make. So, yeah, let's say, let's call this how much. And let's leave a comment, because that's not really self-documenting. How much they make in a year. So there we go. We allowed age. You could have that just be an int, but we're going to allow it to be a double because sometimes people tell us, well, I'm 5.5 years old instead of 5 or 6. So yeah, now our next step, that since the variables are now listed like that, is we want to do this. Scanner keyboard equals new scanner system dot in. What does that even mean? Well, in class we always used this variable to allow users to enter input. This is our variable created by the scanner class, and you don't have to call this keyboard. That's just what we went over in school. You could call this Eskimo Joe. You could call this whatever. Let's just call it input stuffs. Just, for the heck of it, to make it more us. And this new keyword here, it means that you're creating a new object. And don't worry about this so much, but what an object is it allows data and procedures and to be stored in the structure. And system.in, well, you know how we've been using system.out to allow stuff to be outputted onto the screen? Well, this allows input. This is your system.in. I know that's a lot, but yeah, that's the way we gotta roll. System.out.print. And the first thing we're going to put is let's ask them how old they are. How old are you? And you don't want to actually use internet lingo like that, like on your job or for school, or your teacher might be really mad. And, well, I'm going to type this up first and then explain it. So we asked them how old are they, and then we have the age variable right here, and we have it be equal to, oh yeah, we changed keyboard to input stuffs. We have input stuffs, the variable of the scanner class right here, and next double this method is because they are going to give us a double. And in order to take in the double, we need to have this method right here. So how old are they? We have the variable right here, and that variable is going to be assigned using the assignment operator to whatever they input and the next double they type in. Let's continue, shall we? System.out.print. What do you call yourself? Name equals input stuffs dot next line. So this is essentially the same thing, except instead of next string, we type in next line. If you don't like it, go on the internet and complain. Oh, wait a minute, that's where we are. Continuing, you know, we're following this same process right here. We want to ask them how much do you make? In a year. Whoops. There we go. And the next double, how much, would equal input stuffs dot next double. Pretty much the same thing. After that, we want it to be displayed on console. And we also want to make sure our parenthesis goes after the quote there. System.out.println greetings plus their name. You are years old. And you make a year. Now this is going to look a little crude, and yeah, so greetings, and then we have their name, so that's going to be outputted onto the screen, and that's going to have a period here and say you are, and then their age, and then that many years old, and then it's going to say, especially if it's in quotes, that would be fantastic, and this much a year. And if you've seen one of my earlier tutorials, we want to put in spaces so that it looks nice and neat. So there we go. Let's run it. And I'm going to tell you in advance that there's a problem that Eclipse didn't catch. Here we go. How old are you? 27. What do you call yourself? How much money do you make in a year? Well, first problem is that this is yourself, so let's go back to the program and correct that. And notice that it went ahead and it just asked us that, how much money do you make in a year? That's because whenever we do the next line, Eclipse is, well, not Eclipse, but Java decides, you know what, let's have an extra next line that needs to be eaten up like Cookie Monster. And there we go. Let's try this again. How old are you? 22. What do you call yourself? Bob Dole. How much money do you make in a year? 5. Greetings, Bob Dole. You are 22 years old. You make 5 a year. Well, we could fix that up right now, and we are 8.5 minutes in, so why not do that right now? Greetings plus name. You are 22 years old, and you make a year. So let's run this one last time. How old are you? 23. What do you call yourself? Snickery Bob. Or Snicky Bob. So do you make a year? 42. Greetings, Snicky Bob. You're 23.0 years old and you make 42.0 a year. Now, one last time, and then we're going to call it a tutorial. We need to import the scanner class, or we can't have the user enter input. We need to declare our variables right here, and I called age a double because I thought that was funny, but you would usually use something like an int for age. You want to create a input stuffs or keyboard or whatever your teacher wants you to call it variable of the scanner class. Actually, you're also creating a new object here. So you want to make sure, remember that new keyword of system.in, and then you ask your questions, you have the variable, and it's equal to the next variable, the next kind of variable, the next type, and there you go. You know that it's an input by looking at this. So yeah, I could go on, but thank you very much. If you like what you see here, feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave them. Thanks, guys. See ya. Leave them, not lose them. Darn it.